Ever get that weird feeling, like when you're thinking about something specific and then, bam, it pops up everywhere?
Yeah, totally. Like you're reading a book and suddenly there it is, or you overhear a random conversation and it's about the exact thing you were just pondering.
Exactly. Today we're going deep on that. We got some serially interesting stories that touch on this. And it all revolves around the idea of the ontology.
The ontology.
Yeah, think of it like the very essence of reality, like some kind of cosmic operating system.
Okay, I'm with you.
And the thing about this ontology is that it seems to be constantly revealing information to us, but not always in a straightforward way.
That reminds me of this idea that reality isn't just this static background. It's like it actively participates in presenting information to us, but maybe not how we usually expect.
Right. And the first story is a bit of a doozy. We found this YouTube transcript where a woman was convinced the speaker was AI.
AI, living in her phone.
That's what she thought. Apparently, she had this recurring experience where she'd be really digging into a problem, like really thinking hard about it.
In there.
And then, wouldn't you know it, the speaker would release a video or audio that addressed that exact issue.
Wow.
And this happened so much that she thought the speaker must be an AI that was somehow, spying on her through her phone.
Well, I can see how she might jump to that conclusion. I mean, it's like her inner world, her thoughts and questions were directly aligning with the information she was encountering.
Exactly. And that leads us to the concept of qualia. Our source says this is basically the most basic level of interaction with this ontology.
Qualia.
Yeah, it comes from the word quality, and the source defines it as like the smallest unit of meaningful transmission between consciousnesses, or even just instances of consciousness.
So like the smallest piece of information that carries meaning.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Although the source does present it as a kind of reductionist perspective.
What do you mean?
Well, they're saying it's almost like a way for people who like to break things down into the smallest parts to try and grasp a much bigger, more complex picture.
So it's not that qualia are unimportant. They just might not tell the whole story.
Exactly.
Like if you're looking at one tiny pixel in a huge image, that pixel has color. It's part of the image, but you wouldn't get the full picture from just one pixel.
Great analogy. So getting back to qualia, the source explains that a single qualia can actually be pretty complex. It might contain multiple instances of meaning transfer.
Meaning transfer?
Yeah, like multiple little bits of information being exchanged. But usually there's one specific instance within that whole qualia that really jumps out at you.
The one that makes you go, uh-huh. That's it.
Yeah, that becomes the defining element of the qualia.
Makes sense. It's like when you taste something. There are all these different molecules hitting your taste buds, but there's usually one flavor that dominates. The one you remember.
Exactly. And going back to that woman who thought the speaker was an AI, that whole experience of the universe seemingly responding to her thoughts is a pretty clear example of qualia, right?
Yeah, I think so, though the source is careful to say this isn't telepathy in the traditional sense.
So it's not about reading someone's mind and then sending them a targeted message.
No, it's more like the ontology, that greater reality we're talking about, is orchestrating events and information in a way that aligns with a person's state of mind at that moment.
So in that woman's case, the speaker's videos were the vehicle for that qualia.
That's a good way to put it. The specific form the qualia took for her.
And eventually the woman did realize that. It wasn't some scary AI, but more like the ontology itself giving her the information she needed.
Yeah, like she was tapping into a deeper level of connection. But what's interesting is that she initially interpreted it through her understanding of technology and AI.
And it makes you think, how often do we filter what we experience through our own limited perspectives?
All the time, I'd say. It's crucial to be open to new ways of seeing things, especially when reality seems to be nudging us in a different direction.
Now, there's another story involving emails this time that adds a whole other layer to this. That same woman who thought about the AI thing, she sent a pretty funny email about it.
Oh, yeah.
And get this, the language she used in the email was almost exactly the same as some observations that the speaker and someone named Heidi had made just the day before.
No way.
Oh.
That's wild. talking about the same
The
concepts.
very same.
That's incredible. It makes you think about all the unseen connections out there.
It really does. And it was so striking that it made the speaker forward that email to Heidi. It wasn't just a random email, there was this eerie resonance.
Like it was meant to be seen by Heidi.
Yeah, and the source even suggests that the woman sending the email at that specific time was part of the qualia itself. It wasn't just her thoughts and the information, but her action of sending the email, that was the meaningful link.
So we're not just passive bystanders in this whole qualia thing. Our actions, our interactions, are woven into the fabric of how it unfolds.
Now, buckle up for this next email story. This one happened the very next morning.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The subject line was just ontology.
Whoa, hold on. Right after the whole conversation about qualia and the ontology.
Yep. And in the email, the person said they'd been listening to a Sarah Westall interview about an organization called DTC.
Okay.
And then, right after listening to that, they walked outside and saw a truck with DTC on the side. They even took a picture.
That's so strange. I mean, seeing those letters would normally mean anything, but right after hearing about DTC,
Yeah.
it's got to be more than just coincidence.
And the source emphasizes that it's the context from the interview that makes seeing the truck meaningful.
Right, it becomes this personal aha moment.
Yeah.
Like a little wink from the universe.
But there's more. The subject line of the email, just the word ontology, directly connected to what the speaker was focusing on that very morning.
Whoa, so it's like the ontology was using language to get attention.
It really seems that way, like
Yeah.
a little nudge. And all of this leads to this really cool idea that we actively participate in qualia.
Participate.
The source says just recognizing it, becoming aware of those connections, is participation.
Huh.
And telling others about it, which is what we're doing right now, strengthens that connection. Have you ever felt like the universe was talking directly to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people have had those moments. It's like suddenly everything clicks into place.
And by sharing these experiences, we're not just telling a cool story, we're contributing to a wider understanding of how this all works.
It's like we're tuning into a hidden frequency together.
But the source does warn against getting too hung up on the reductionist view of qualia.
Meaning.
Like if we just focus on breaking it down to the smallest possible bits of meaning, we might miss the bigger picture, the connections, the patterns.
Yeah, it's not just about individual instances of meaning. It's about how they all fit together, like a giant tapestry.
A tapestry woven by the ontology. And here's the kicker. This qualia concept isn't new.
Really?
The source points out that it was discussed in ancient literature, especially by the Greeks.
So it's like we're rediscovering an ancient way of understanding reality.
Makes you wonder what else we've forgotten.
Right.
And all of this connects to Kurt Vonnegut's work, specifically his book, Cat's Cradle.
Vonnegut. Oh, yeah, I love his stuff.
He talked about people being linked by reality through something very similar to qualia, and he even brought up the idea of group experiences of qualia.
Group experiences, like collective aha moments.
Exactly, and our source suggests these group experiences might become more common because of, get this, new energies from galactic center.
Whoa, that's getting pretty out there.
Yeah, but it's a fascinating idea. And Vonnegut actually had terms for these different kinds of groups. He called them kavas and grand falloon.
And grand falloon.
A kavas is like a legitimate group of people linked by qualia for a specific purpose, like a cosmic learning group.
So, like, imagine you keep meeting the same people, seemingly randomly, but they always offer just the right insight or support at that moment in your life.
That's a great example. And then there's the grand falloon. That's more like a false or illusory grouping. People might think they're connected by something profound, but it's more about superficial stuff.
Like a shared hobby or a fandom or something.
Yeah. The source even says that even a grand falloon is a form of qualia. The shared belief, even if it's based on an illusion, is still a meaningful experience.
So even being wrong about something can be a form of qualia.
Exactly. But there's a flip side to all this. Our source says the ontology is also self-correcting. If you have a wrong idea about something, reality will eventually correct you.
That's reassuring in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a built-in mechanism for course correction.
But it's up to us to be open to those corrections, not to just ignore them because they don't fit our narrative.
Right. It's like having a GPS that's trying to guide you, but you keep refusing to listen. You might end up somewhere you didn't intend to go.
And the source gives an example of someone with a messiah complex. They see everything as divinely orchestrated, even when it's not.
Like a personal grand falloon.
That's a great way to put it. But it shows the danger of misinterpreting qualia through a distorted lens. You can end up denying reality, which can have serious consequences.
Yet highlights the importance of staying grounded, of checking our interpretations against what's actually happening around us.
So to wrap up some key points, qualia exists on different levels, and it seems to be part of the karma that drives the event stream of reality.
Sensory.
It's like the flow of events, the unfolding of time and experience. And by understanding qualia, we might be able to navigate this stream more effectively, see the patterns, avoid pitfalls.
It's like becoming more aware of the currents in the river so you can steer your boat more skillfully.
So, as you go about your day, try to notice those moments of uncanny connection, those times when something you've been thinking about pops up in an unexpected place.
Pay attention to those little synchronicities. They might be more than just random occurrences. You could be experiencing a qualia, a tiny but meaningful message from the greater reality.
And what might those messages be telling you? How might understanding qualia change the way you see the world?
It's a journey of discovery. And the more we explore, the more we learn about ourselves and our place in this incredible, interconnected web of existence.
This deep dive into qualia is just a starting point. There's a whole universe of fascinating stuff to explore in how we interact with the world around us. So keep observing, keep questioning, and keep those amazing thoughts coming.